Well, good afternoon, and all that good stuff. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. We got what we call Four Square Conversation. Four Square Conversation. Now, you might ask, what is that? We have four different topics. We talk about each one of them for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Sometimes we do have four topics. Sometimes we don't get to all four of them. So y'all be patient with us. It depends on how the conversation is going and whether we're going to transition over to the next topic or whether we're gonna stay right where we is, now that's the country talk, right where we is. I got I'm just a question ask. I'm not important. My name is Raheem. Like I said again, I'm not important, but we got some brothers here that is very important. These are my brothers from another mother, but we got the same father. This right to my I guess looking at the screen to my right. Rodney, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Rodney Smith, Tequila, Georgia, hailing from Stamford, Connecticut.
Big time to Cula. And to his right, we got Captain Leonard. Captain Leonard, tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from, brother.
This is Leonard Jones, Vice President of New Order National Human Rights Organization, hailing from Covington, Georgia.
And by way of don't
Saginaw,
put it out.
Michigan.
Don't put it out there, brother.
Saginaw, Michigan, for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to his right, below Rodney to Leonard's right, we got the elder is here this evening. Elder, good evening, sir. Tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from. Oh, we can't hear you, sir. Someone with your volume, hit your volume button for me. Oh, we know we got to be able to hear you, brother. We got to be able to hear you. We can't hear nothing. Can't hear nothing right now. Can't hear nothing right now. Let me see. Something going on with your volume there, sir. Something going on with your volume. Might want to. I don't know if you had a phone call or text or something and knock your volume off, but go out and come back in, and we'll come right back to you. Go out and come right back in, and we'll come right back in. We got to be able to hear you, brother. We doing it. We see your lips moving, but we ain't hearing no volume. Now we're gonna go ahead on and kick this thing off, and right now we'll start off with you. Do we and this is a personal thing that everybody have to deal with and relate to it, I guess, differently on a different level. Somebody said all of you are important. I don't know who said that, but somebody said all of you are important. I definitely appreciate that. Now, Rodney, do we understand our impact on the women in our lives? Do we understand as men? Do we understand impact of the women in our lives and other women just around us?
I think that I think we do for the most part, but we kind of diminish it or don't pay much attention to it because we're all over the world. But yeah, we do have a tremendous impact on the people around us, especially women, because they look to men for guidance, strength, and so forth. And a lot of
Now,
times we don't
I'm gonna
exhibit.
jump. I'm gonna jump in a lot tonight, man, because we actually going somewhere. So you say for strength. Do you think women still in this day and time with women's power and all the women movement that's going on and the Me Too movement and all the different things that's happening? Do you think women still look for men for strength, or do you think they try to find that within themselves?
I think you're asking a very dangerous question.
Mhm.
um, I think that for whatever reason, the role of the men have been diminished, possibly by their own undoing or by society's undoing. But the strength we used to have in terms of character, in terms of leadership in our families and our surroundings, it seems to be diminished in certain areas.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Let me go to Captain Leonard. Leonard, ask you the same question, brother. Do we understand as men? Do we understand the impact that we have on the women in our lives and other women that look at us for certain things? Do we understand the impact that we have, or do we even have an impact? I guess I don't want to assume. Do you think we have an impact on the women in our lives?
Yes, and it also depends on the man. What type of impact? Yes, of course you had an impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what type of impact.
Wow.
Were you trying to have an impact,
Mm-hmm.
or did you leave a terrible situation?
Wow.
Hmm.
That's good.
So I mean that though that's like the wind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
could be anything. We need
Mm-hmm.
a woman on here to tell you the impact that you made on her,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you weren't being intentional.
Mm-hmm. And this is a young lady right here, Leonard. This is Miss Shamika, and she said, she said that they try to find it within themselves. She said they try to find it within themselves. That's a female. That's a female saying that,
Hmm.
They try to find it within themselves.
meaning the strength.
What? Oh, okay. The strength part.
Yeah, yeah. She said that women a lot of time women don't look to men; they try to find it within themselves.
Oh, okay. I mean,
You,
I'm not a woman.
yeah,
You literally said, okay.
I mean, I'm
but
good with whatever they say, because that is actually the impact that you had. Especially if you were not being intentional.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
See, some people you have an impact. It's just what type of impact, and was it intentional or not? If I
mm-hmm,
was with a young lady and I wanted to give her a sense that she could trust me, then I would tell her the truth and I would build that trust in her intentionally.
mm-hmm,
I would do certain things to make her trust me, to let her know
mm-hmm,
she could do that.
mm-hmm,
Hey, Miss Chapel, haven't
mm-hmm.
talked to you in a long time.
As a matter of fact, Miss Chapman, call in because I would love to. Yes, this is real men being men, but we do have women on the broadcast from time to time. And Miss Chapman, if you got an opportunity, if you have a few minutes, call in 508-924-3521.
Right.
508. Yes, sir.
That answer that the young lady gave was a response, in my personal opinion, was women have to step up when the void is there. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens is women do have to fill that void if there is a void there. So she's correct to some degree, but it's almost like survival mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
If the impact isn't there, they're going to have to live and move on and make it work with or without a man. So I mean, I got that part from her. I understand that. But the question is again, like Brother Leonard said, we're going to leave an impact one way or the other, negative or positive.
Mm-hmm.
One is going to be left. So we have to determine, how we're going to do. A lot of times we do things. I know I used to do things and subconsciously in the past that were derogatory and negative to a woman's well-being and didn't realize it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So again, that was unintentional, but my actions created a negative environment. Not intentionally, but it occurred.
See, a negative environment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow. Okay.
Shamika Shapiro.
Okay, we have Miss Shamika with us. Miss Shamika, how are you doing, young lady? How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are all of you?
Hey, doing
Hey,
good.
Miss
Sis.
Chappelle, how are you?
Hey,
Definitely.
I'm
Definitely.
fine. Nice to see everybody.
Hey, nice to see you as well. Says I want to jump right into this thing with you, and I'm asking the question: do men understand the impact that they have on the women in our lives and around us? What do you say to that? Because I saw that you said that sometimes the women they try to find their strength within themselves. So I took from that you were saying that women don't necessarily look outward for their strength anymore. They look forward within themselves. And if the man is there, fine. If not, but I want to hear your input on that. What do you say?
You saying it just as is. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, a lot of women feel they can be independent without a man, or I can be strong without you.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I don't feel that way because I wasn't designed for that role.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for a man to step up to the plate and be that, but these times and days have changed. I'm not saying it's no more good ones out there. I'm sure there are somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of men are not looking for relationships anymore. I run into some men nowadays that talk about they want to be in these multiple relationships, and that's only for financial gain.
Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
half of them just don't want to have work or whatever have you. But the roles have changed so drastically over the years over the years. So I'm like, oh my God. And
Mm-hmm.
some men just want friends with benefits, just like some women just want friends with benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel the roles have changed so much. Sad to say, sad to hear, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. And you said something. You say sad is very sad, and I feel that same way. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening.
Tucson, we asking a question, brother. Do we understand as men? Do we understand the impact that we have on the women in our lives and women that's around us? What do you say to that?
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, but now I think that my sister's making a point that these days people don't really care. If, if you're there, good. If you're not, good. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to be there, get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But really, um, it's one way or the other, either a negative or a positive impact. You don't have one. Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, I think, and it's just me, I think that we've created this mindset because, and mainly
Hold on, Tucson. When you say we, who is the we that we speak about? Is it the
men,
men,
as
women?
in general,
Okay, okay, got you. Okay.
because, and I think what we do is we pay more attention to the negative aspect of it all. Because if you ask most women, they say you can't find a good man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because most of the time they focusing on the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, you even look and the bad boy get all the girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All you got to do is, you know, hang out, call them stuff, and you look around and you got a girl for every finger.
Mm-hmm.
But here you are trying to do the right thing. And I'm not talking about me because it don't make me no difference. I mean, I ain't looking. But in this society,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it seems like everybody wanna you got to have a little thug in you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just my opinion.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. I'm gonna mute you, Tucson, because we got a little background noise coming there. So I'm gonna mute you. Well, mute your line, Tucson. Mute your own line, and then that way ain't got ain't got to worry about it. Let's go to Elder. Elder. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm fine. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear, brother. Loud and clear. Asking the question, man. Do we as men understand the impact that we have on women's lives, on women that's in our lives and women that's around us? Do we understand the impact that we have on their lives? What do you say to that, Elder?
I think in general that we sometimes short-sighted of the impact that we have on the women in our lives. I think kind of going back to what Brother Toussaint was saying in terms of, if you're coming from that thug perspective, you if you feeling like it's a controlling thing, you can control a woman, and well, you will have those women that you can control. So, but and then they get upset if they can't control. But coming from the standpoint, I think that I don't think we really understand the impact we have, because see, women are very emotional, and men tend not to be emotional. So already we had a different standpoint right there. So we don't catch that emotionality in the same way. We don't see the far-reaching effects of how we treat our women, and somebody was saying earlier, I'm sorry, I didn't remember exactly who said it, but the young lady was speaking, talking about how women these days, many times think they can fend for themselves, and I think that many women say that, but like the lady was saying, deep down, they really don't want to do it. It's almost like a default. They have to kind of default back down to that, but they really would like to have that man to step up and be the person he's supposed to be, because he does have such a great influence, in her life.
That's good. That's good. Rico, good evening, sir. Excuse me. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I can't complain, man. How you doing today, man?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Rico, what do you say to that, man? As men, do we understand the impact the impact that we have on the women lives that's in our lives and women that's actually watching us, because a lot of times they watch us from a distance before they come up to us, before they say anything, before they have any interaction. They'll watch us. As men, they'll watch us. So do we understand the impact that we have on their lives?
No, I don't think either way I don't think they understand the impact they have on us or the impact that we have on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's like I think about not tonight, baby. I got a headache.
Mm.
You know, when you heard that used to be sort of like a thing that went on in movies or whatever, but I guess it actually really did happen. You know, that it was understandable that a woman may say that to you at nighttime after a long day.
Mm-hmm.
You thinking you done been to work, I'm gonna come home and she done cooked dinner for me and she got the house clean and got my bath water ready and she got the kids tucked away and they, you know, I don't work all day. All I got to do is wait on her to do this and she got a headache.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to know why she got a headache. You been at home all day. I've been working.
Yeah.
They realize then that we don't really understand just how much how much of a job it is being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that being, you know, I'm gonna say being sort of
do we take them for granted?
I don't want to say we take them for granted. I just think that we really don't we don't really know how to see things through their eyes, just like they don't know how to see things through our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a conversation with a woman that said that she didn't think men hurt.
Wow.
If a woman left us or cheated on us or whatever, that we just moved on. Okay, whatever. Boom, I get the next one. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to break some things down from our perspective. Some things she was like, man, I didn't know a man could feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, yeah, that's the way a man can feel. And that's the same thing with a woman. You know, I think that's the reason why it's always good to have a good relationship with your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you got a real good relationship with your mother and you got a way of understanding it and relating to why she does what she does and how she had to maneuver, why she maneuvered the way that she did, then you can also understand the struggle of a lot of other women. I'm pretty sure if you were young and not with your woman, like, man, my mama was pretty, man. I really hated going out in public with my mama because sometimes men would be disrespectful. They didn't care that I was there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you knew that your mom has to go through this when her husband isn't around, then your wife, you have to understand that your wife might have to go through this too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 508.
Go ahead.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Got quite a few people that's listening. Got a lot of people that's actually listening. Give us a call. We'd like to hear your input on this. Let me go. We got somebody that's just joined us, but I want to go back to Miss Chappelle. Miss Chappelle, and because you're the young lady on the line with us right now, what is on your heart about what you're hearing?
Number one, I'm thankful that, you know, my children's father understood when I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about a man being tired, because we as women, we get tired too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no problem doing nothing for a man.
Mm-hmm.
But days that I'm tired, my body needs to rest as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A man don't go through what we go through in our body.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, we carry a child for 9 months, and some of us have to push that child out. Those labor pains are not easy.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I'm thankful in times when I needed to rest, they allowed me to rest. You know, they was raised to cook. So a lot of times I didn't even have to cook. I did cook, but a lot of times I didn't have to cook. They would cook. Sometimes we would be in the kitchen together.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, some of these men, mama boys or whatever you want to call them, just think you have maid service. I'm not your maid.
So am I hearing you say to a certain degree, Mr. But am I hearing you say to a certain degree they take you all for granted? We as men take you all for granted?
Yes. A lot of times from me, and I'm not saying all because it's
Absolutely.
not pertaining to all.
Absolutely.
And it's from women, so we're going to put it on women as well. I'm never going to say nothing about a man. I'm not going to say nothing about a woman because it goes vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good.
To take people for granted, to take your kindness for granted. Some
Mhm.
people just think you weak because you're doing this, that, third, and the other. No, I'm just doing what God created me to be, a woman,
Mhm.
and what I was raised to be. And that's not for you to take advantage of. Because already, if you want that dogmatic woman, that's who you need to find. If you want a woman that you just gonna call out, name, mistreat, and abuse, that's that woman you need to find. But you're not
Mhm.
gonna do it to me.
Exactly. That's good. That's
You
good.
know, I feel in relationship, everybody ought to help everybody because in the times and days in which we're living in, you
Mhm.
know, it takes two. It
Mhm.
takes two. One set should not, everything should not just fall on us as women. I
Mhm.
know sometimes I work from sun up to sundown.
Come on. Come on.
So when I come home, my body is sore, tired, and aching. Do you
Mhm.
think I want to be in the kitchen cooking?
Not now part of you. Not now part of you. Let me keep this thing going.
Or
Exactly. Not now part of you. Absolutely. I'm gonna call brother. If it's okay, Bishop, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna refer to you as Brooks so we can keep the thing going. Is that all right with you?
Sure,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Brooks, tell me first. Give me your whole name and where you're hailing from.
Bishop Diamond Brooks. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Good deal. Good to have you with us tonight, brother. You've been with us before, man. It's always good when you come and join us. We're talking about do we as men, Brooks, do we understand the impact that we have on women?
To be honestly, no. To be honest, I would say no, we don't. I mean, I think most of the time, when it comes to the men in today's time, especially the women in today's time, and I always talk about how to really redefine relationships, and really kind of look at what a woman actually really go through. And for us, most men, I ain't gonna say all, we have a tendency to listen to respond, but not listen to understand. And I guess because the way we were raised, we was kind of raising properly, especially in this generation, to where we lost the respect for women. You know what I mean? And so the lack of respect now became dominant women mind to where now they try to dominate or basically expand their horizons in a different way because of our ineffective behavior. So
Wow.
if I would have to, I said it don't account for all men. I just believe that, for me personally, I think that if we try to use the old school mentality in a new school relationship, we're gonna keep on finding these, collisions. And that's what I'm seeing happen over and over and over.
Somewhere I
Men don't
read
really.
where
Oh, go ahead.
somewhere I read where it said you can't put new wine in an old bottle. It's not bottle. I'm paraphrasing here, but you know what? You know where I'm going. You always got to be new and always got to keep it fresh. I think that sometimes, and I'm gonna go to Rodney on this. I think sometimes we as men we do overlook and because of the fact that we overlook and we I guess take for granted, we put more on them a lot of times than what we realize. We expect a lot out of women more than what they should have to do. We should all just come together and put our hand into what we're doing to make this whole thing successful. Rodney, do we do that as men?
I was sitting and listening to all the dialogue, and again, I can only speak from my experiences. When I was coming up, in the 60s, early 70s, men, fathers, walked in deliberateness. They were aware of their environment. We're aware of their impact and the things they said, where they went, the way they dressed, what they did. If you look at fashions back in the 40s, 30s, and 40s, men didn't have a lot of money, but they dressed well. They commanded respect. All right. The era of men having self-respect, women would fall in. I use the term "fall in line," but they'll follow a person that had a direction they were going in. Now, piggybacking on the bishop, what happens is we got in. I keep reiterating. Around the 80s, we got into that me generation. So men started thinking, I'm gonna take care of me, the superfly role, the shaft role. They wanted to be the alpha male and dog women out and take them for granted. And that seemed to work in the movies. So most men started emulating what they saw in media. Get what you can, abuse people, keep it moving. If she falls in line, she's a good whatever. Go out there and get my money kind of attitude.
Yeah.
So again, I think if men understood that they have to walk in patience, because with me, I mean, I have nieces, I have daughters, I have a wife, and I have people around me. I try to walk deliberately, because the thing is that they look to me, if not verbally, they look to me in the things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I think, if most men understood that they're being watched by their children, by their daughters, by their sons, by their in-laws, they will approach life a little differently.
Mm-hmm. Leonard, if we're not careful, even in this conversation right here, can we find ourselves borderline being disrespectful to the women that we're talking about?
I mean, if you want to consider it disrespectful, what's so disrespectful about the truth? You're an adult. You can have candid conversations with one another. You know, I mean, this tiptoeing around real issues and pretending and playing games, never been into that. You know, as you know, I'm very straightforward.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I've heard, you know, how people handle their relationships, and that's why stuff is a mess now. Every man knows why his relationships have been a mess and failure.
A lot of times, is it because of us?
No, not all the time.
You said no. You said not all the time. Okay, I like how you clean it up.
You know, it's just sometimes you deserve what you get.
Wow. Okay. We'll keep it right there. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I got a good question.
Fellas. Go ahead.
What has the most impact on a woman? Men or money?
That's a real.
That's a very good
to me, it's like a 50.
That's a good, yeah. I mean,
depends on the values.
But see, a lot of times, and certainly not all, and I don't want anybody to send me no emails talking, but a lot of times what happens is some women look to men for the money. And so if that be the case, or are you less than a man? And let me go to Elder on this. Are you less than a man if you can't provide the money? Elder? Your volume went out on you. See, soon I come to you, man. Your volume go out on me. Now, how does that work, man? How does that work? Let me go to Tucson. Fix that situation, and I'm gonna come right back to you, brother. What do you say to that, Tucson? If a woman is looking to a man for the money and to be that provider, that breadwinner, and if he can't provide in that way, is he less than a man? Tucson, your volume out too? Good Lord. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. There you go, Tucson.
You muted me.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I sure did.
You the one muted me.
Man, you got all that stuff going on in the background, man. I thought you was having a party.
Oh yeah, man. I'm finna shut all of this down. I'm finna put the car in the yard. But looky here. See, you ever heard "stay in your lane"?
Says the man that's driving.
I just, hey, look, I don't deal with caviar women. Get your own caviar.
Lord Jesus.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna leave it right there because
come on, man. No, wait a minute. Come on, don't do me like that, right? Don't do me like that. I'm just saying, man. Some women, if you don't have a certain amount or whatever the case may be, then you can't buy me a Bentley, and I need a $500 purse. Well, I was finna say something, but you don't have.
I saw that. I saw you almost about to say something.
But honey, you don't have but $20. So what do you need a $500 purse for? I think what I need to do is let you go back to your mother or somewhere, but you got to get away from me. I'm just saying. See, some men drive themselves in the ground trying to please somebody that they can't.
Yeah.
Because it's all about them. You know, I started this thing early in my days when I was clubbing.
Yes, sir. Come on. Talk about it.
A bartender walk up to me and say, can you buy me a drink?
What you tell
I said, bartender, some water. Put a little ice in it. Put a little ice in it. And look, she'll say, "You keep." I said, "Tell your friends."
Keep them all away from me. Keep them all. Exactly. Let me go back to Elder. Elder, I had you muted over on sound. I'm sorry, brother. It was me.
It was you.
Oh, look, see. What do you say to that, Elder? Talk to us, man. Do you think some women look to men for the money, and if they cannot provide, does that mean that they're less than a man?
Well, I'm going back with some of what Toussaint was saying. I mean, we got a whole group of a different breed of women, so I think especially the younger ones, that have gotten into that whole having a lot of stuff kind of thing. But I think if you have been selective about who you talking about now, are we talking about somebody you're dating or somebody that you have wed? And I think that's the real issue.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But if you're choosing your women wisely, then they're not attracted to you because of your money, unless you got a lot of it. And most people don't have a lot of it. None of mine have come to me because of been attracted to me because of my money. It's been my good looks. But,
I got you. Now you said that most of us don't have. Are you calling us broke, or you said most of us don't have a lot of money no way? So
I don't know. I don't want to insult nobody.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think that there's a side, I think, if we're talking about marriage, that we don't need to go into a marriage without anything.
Mm-hmm.
And expecting the woman to provide, because you have some dudes that they will move from one woman's situation to another woman's situation, and looking for the woman to provide. That's a whole totally messed up mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we should come from the standpoint of, listen, you kind of figure out what it is you do that, and try to start providing something for your woman, and bring her into the equation.
Exactly.
Not trying to, you can't be a millionaire before you get married.
Mm-hmm.
Most people can't be that kind of thing, but you can try to have something to make her want to come and be a part of your campaign. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Brooks, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I don't really like the terminology less than, at the same time, women have a tendency to gravitate towards men that are financially stable because they're looking for security, but then they don't get they say they want to be loved, and then they always go straight to the agape love. They don't understand. They only going to be dealing with eros love in a relationship. They say they want the love, but it's really security that they want. As they get the security and not love, then it's a problem. Now, the terminology of less than a man, I don't think man can be less than a man. I really don't like that terminology. They're going to still be a man. They just may be a man that's out of order, or a man that's not operating in his full potentials. I don't really like that terminology less than a man. And a lot of people use that a lot, especially the women, it's predominantly amongst women. Like I said, for me, no matter what their intentions are, it's going to be a problem if they don't understand relationship and compatibility. And they're going to have a problem no matter what. And depending on when it's at, they're going to have a problem.
Absolutely. And y'all, by looking at the clock, y'all can tell it's already 8:34. So we're going to extend this particular topic to the top of the hour. Then we're going to go to the next topic. So we're going to hang in right here for a second. And while we're hanging in here, let me go to Miss Chappelle. She's the only lady that's speaking for the ladies this evening. So, sis, what's on your heart?
Me personally, I feel like conversations need to be held before even entering into a relationship. Once again, we're not living back in times and days. We're living in the days now where I say it goes both ways still once again, because just as some women look for the man with the money, some men looking for the woman that have money. A lot of people look for folks and think you just got to have good credit and I ask this question to some brothers: why do we as women? I know we're in a new day and era now, but I'm 52 years old. I don't have no problem saying my age because I still look good. But I ask some men, why do we as women have to put on all this makeup for you, all this fake hair? I like to have my little nails done and feet done. You do want to keep up your appearance, but are you looking for we got some women got to have the nice shapes for a man so they can parade around like they little trophies or something, and they may not even be white material.
Wow.
So I mean, I'm to the point. My mother and stepfather would lived out their marriage vows to death do part. My mother made more than my stepfather, but it was never thrown up in his face. They worked together. If one was down, the other one took over till the next one came back up.
Yeah, that's good.
So I don't understand why in marriages or relationships, if a man, it's a difference if a man lose a job. Okay, why would you leave that man when that man needs you to encourage him till he can get back up on their feet, or that woman needs you to encourage her till she gets back up on her feet? What did you enter into it for? Like you say, what was the motive behind entering into the relationship or the marriage? Period.
Exactly.
Before I marry anybody, we're gonna sit and have a long conversation.
That's good.
Because I don't want if finances come into play that you will leave me if finances ain't there.
That's right.
Because I would never leave him if something was to happen and he's no longer able to work or provide like he used to be able to because of injury or whatever. Now you got some jokers just lazy on both ends, women and men. They want somebody to take care of them. But it all depends on what the situation is. I never go to nobody's club expecting no man to buy me nothing. Because really when I go out, I'm going out just to enjoy myself, take off the load from a long work week. If a man so happen to buy me a drink, oh well. But the type of people in my circle is very small. And when I say it's very small, I can count on one hand.
That's good.
And these are people we have tested and tried each other. They will do for me just as I would do for them. So it's nobody looking for one to do more so for the other. And I mean, this is with me. I hang more with men than I do women anyway. But we do for each other.
Mr. Chappelle, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question before I move on to somebody else, because you said something just then, and I want to kind of harp on that just a little bit. You say you hang out with more men than you do women. Is it that women really don't trust each other?
I'm not going out to be gossiping and talking about what's going on in nobody's house. I want to be for some folks that we just out there trying to have a good time. You know, we just enjoying life.
Exactly. Good deal.
We ain't trying to gossip about what's going on Mary Sue Jane house, who ain't doing what, who husband ain't. So
you ain't doing it. You ain't doing the Housewives of Atlanta thing. You ain't doing that Housewives of Atlanta thing.
Ain't doing the Housewives. Ain't doing the Housewives.
Good deal. Hold on right there, sister.
Some of this right messy.
Exactly. Hold on right there. Let me keep this thing going, Rico. Let me ask you this, Rico, and this is I'm changing up while actually staying the same. Do you think majority, if you could put a number on a percentage on it, the amount of people that's married, husband and wife, that know that if they fell into a situation and they was handicapped or crippled, handicapped from the neck down, that the spouse that they're with right now will actually stay with them and stay in the gap with them? What a percentage would you put on it?
Man, that's hard to say, man. I mean,
because I know a lot of times.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, man. If depend, I mean, if they don't went through some struggle together, man, that might be a 90 to 95% rate that they'll stay in that situation and remain. You know, I ain't gonna say they ain't gonna be doing no cheating, or they ain't gonna be stepping out, but I think they'll stay. You know, I mean, because to be honest with you, it's a good possibility that somebody might get a check. Some opportunistic people out there. They might not do it for love. They might do it because it's still beneficial. Man, we ain't got to work no more. I just stay home and take care of her. I take care of him. I mean, so it can happen that way. But look, she asked a question, man, and this is the perfect opportunity, the perfect platform, real men being men. And she came out and asked that question about the makeup and the weave and stuff, man. And man, listen, we can't let that slide. And it ain't nothing wrong with it. But this is something that really needs to be cleared up, because to answer her question, y'all don't have to wear all that makeup.
Yeah.
You don't have to put on the wig.
Well, it depends, Rico, because some men really like that, and that's what draws them. And so, I would agree with you when we'll walk together on this when you see they really don't. But some men, they gotta have the fake hair, the fake nail, the eyebrows, eyelash. They like they about to, man. Go ahead.
I'm speaking on behalf of the some men that don't.
Yeah,
because evidently she thinks that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that she spoke from.
Mm-hmm.
So now she needs to hear that ain't true.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. Now, what it is women have convinced themselves by observing us, and they have this thing of strategizing and trying to read people, and they think that they have to sort of try to judge what we'll do, and they assume because what we look at on TV or what we look at in magazines that this is what we want all of our women to look like. Don't get me wrong, it does look good. Sometimes we know it's fake. We also know it can't look like that all the time, but that looks good at that moment. But you don't have to look like that all the time, and we know that you don't have to look like that all the time. But that's sort of like the impact that we have on women. The fact that they assume and they feel like that they have to meet our standards, but those aren't our standards.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are your standards. But and it's sad that it got to that point. So now women do need to hear this, because now they're getting so extreme with it that they are choosing to do the makeup that transsexuals use because they think that we like that. We talk about the eyelashes. Now they don't even care because they say we like that.
No, I don't like that. I don't. I like I said again, I can speak to me, but I can say that. Brooks, you had your hand up, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I just wanted to her question. And I didn't want to override what you were saying too. I want to talk about that too. But the difference between men is men have a tendency of judging by prostitute, so it's mostly the outer appearance that attract us. A woman, on the other hand, she talks about emotions and basically she has this vision of what she.
Hey Brooks, turn your volume down. Brooks, turn your volume down a little bit. It's popping real bad, and maybe because your volume is up a little too loud. So turn your volume down just a tad bit. Do you have it on speaker?
Okay. How is that?
Okay, that's better. Let's go.
You can hear me clear?
No, it's still doing the same
thing.
You
hear me?
Do you have it on speaker, or is it coming through the car? Take
it
on speaker.
I don't think I have it on speaker. Let me see.
Because it's really popping. I want to make sure everybody can hear exactly what you're saying, because I want to ask you another question as well before I leave you. Go ahead, say something. Okay. Say something, brother. Are you sitting still or are you driving? Are you sitting still or are you driving? I hope you ain't driving because you're using your hands on the phone a lot. So I hope you're not driving right now. That won't be good. But talk directly into the phone, brother. Take it off speaking and everything and talk directly into the phone. We won't be able to hear you, but we won't be able to see you, but we'll be able to hear you. Something's going on with it.
I think.
Okay, let me do this. Let me go. We got Friday. She just came on. You work on that, and I'll come right back to you. I got another question for you as well. It's certainly with you being in LA. Friday, you put on the thing 15%. And good evening. Sis, how you doing?
Greetings and salutations.
To you as well. You all put on the screen 15%. So you think only 15% of the people in a marriage today, if their spouse became incapacitated, whereas they couldn't function, only 15% will stay? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, I believe so. Just as there's no official document, it's just my opinion. I'm coming from the medical field. Although I work with animals, I know that compassion fatigue is very real. And I also know that being a caretaker is very difficult. So in terms of the longevity of fullness of care, I believe that it will probably sit around 15% of those that are able to carry it out all the way to the end till death do us part, because they would get burnt out, they would get tired, especially depending on the type of ailment that's to be had. Dementia is very difficult to deal with when you have spent so much time with someone and they are beginning to not remember who you are. and then the physical capability of actually being able to lift and care for someone, depending on which person in the relationship is the one that's incapacitated. So that can be very hard physically on the wife, depending on the size of the husband, and likewise for the husband, depending on the need and size of the wife. Because in my, just using me for an example, you know, in comparison, my husband's 6'2", 200 some pounds, and I'm like barely 5 feet on a good day. And you know, well, we just won't disclose about what my weight is, but in comparison, if he was to become incapacitated, it would be very difficult for me to properly care for him day in and day out. Not that I wouldn't want to, but it will take a toll on me physically, especially if we start talking about getting into the if you didn't have the scissors in the first place, why would you get the scissors now? Especially dealing with the frailty of age as we get older. So those things will be taken into account. Not that they wouldn't want to be there, but other means would have to take into place. But then once you start talking about going into a home, if you don't have the means to have home care, then that becomes opportunity for move away from me. So that.
I think she froze there. She got a couple of things going on the other side there. So let me go back to Brooks. Brooks, can we hear you, brother?
Let me know. Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, it's a little better now. Go ahead.
Okay, so
yes.
Basically what I was saying earlier is that men pick women by proctitude. That's what kind of like ingrained into us. She was saying as far as the makeup and stuff like that. Most men, like me, I don't really like women that, you know, have a lot of makeup on. I like her natural, but you know, it varies from person to person. Most of the times, I think all the women men minds have gotten caught up with what society projects. So since they projected that way, so women try to fit that category. So you know, society projected for a woman to be sexy, she gotta have nice breasts, pretty eyes, long hair, nice butt. So then what they do now, since they projected that way, that doesn't fit within that category, they want to get liposuction, breast implants, contact lenses, extensions to try to fit what society says sexy. When sexy is really nothing but an emotion. A woman supposed to feel sexy regardless. So what it did is it shift everything. And it shifted for the women and it shifted for. So because it's dominant in the man's mind, then now when he get that woman based off of a program, then of course he's going to want her to stay, you know, within that parameters of how he saw her. Because anything else, if a woman doesn't keep that, he's going to turn something. So, and that's what happened most of the time. So really, it's not so much that the man want to be that way. Society already ingrained it into our minds. So it's basically plays in our minds so much vision to where now it became a normal thing. You see what I mean? So now a woman feels that she has to normally do it. You know what I'm saying? Because if she don't fit within that parameters of what sexy is. So women now became emotionally imbalanced because they don't fit the criteria, and especially if they don't look like what society says. So then now they compromise, and then they get with people that they shouldn't be with in the first place.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this thing here, Brooks. You being you're in LA, correct?
Yeah.
Do you how prevalent is it over there in LA? Everybody, you know, because I've been to LA several times, man, and it seems like everybody want to be a star, everybody want to be a celebrity, everybody want to be this thing, and so they make themselves up to try to look like that. So how original do you find a lot of the people in LA to be?
Say 5% out of 100, and 5 out of 100, because I don't know if you know, but I have wrote a book called The Real Reason Men Cheat, and I was breaking down the problem that we have finding relationships, because everybody present a character of who they want to be, but not who they are. So 6 months, 7 line of relationship, they starting to find out this person that I'm with, who are you? That ain't how you was at the beginning. So now everybody have to be fake, just just for relationships now. So nobody, in fact, women have their ingenuity, men has lost their position. So now men now don't even really know what it means to be a man of integrity. You know, I remember I did the teaching for the men. I was telling them, I said, tell me the first step to become a man of integrity. And nobody was able to tell me. I'm like, okay. And then when I do women council, I did a 3-part series called Women in Danger series. And I was just asking simple questions to the women. And I was just blown away, like, seriously. And I said, this is why we have so much divorce rates going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a bishop. So in the church, we have more divorce in the church than we do in the rest of the world.
Wow. Exactly.
Issue.
Absolutely. Hold right there, brother. Hold right there, brother. We can definitely come back to you, man. We got a lot of people I want to tell you. We got quite a few people that's on the phone line as well. I'm coming to you as well. So everybody, please stand by, be patient with me. We got a lot going on this evening. Rodney, what's on your heart, brother?
I was thinking about all three of your questions, and all of them really kind of piggyback on each other. One is getting back to the money issue. I was always taught when I was younger, don't start anything you can't finish. All right. So don't start putting that money out there if you can't keep it up. All right. Now, fortunately, before I got married, I had a choice of a few women, and I chose the woman that would be a mother to my child, a woman that had a foundation. That's the one I chose. The good time girls were good for that season, but when I thought about moving forward, who would I have as my wife? We had been married 33 years now. We've been married for 10 years with no children. All right? I had my own business. Things were going well. My wife had a pretty good job. She got an illness that almost killed her. For 8 years, she stayed at home. I took care of her. All right. She got through it. And now she's doing extremely well. She's back at work. Things are well for her. But what happens is that we have to decide as men, are we going to be committed to the relationship we pick? We make the decision to grab that woman, whether she's about that dollar, she's about relationships. We don't take time to understand what we have picked. And once we pick it, we got to stick with that role till death do us part or till the wheels fall off, or whichever. A lot of times men,
Rodney, a lot of times do we as men go to the tree and we just automatically pick the low hanging fruit. We don't want to struggle and get to the top where the cream of the crop is. We don't want to climb the tree and get to where the good apples are. We want to pick the ones that we can just stand on the ground.
Let's be real. Most men like that low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's convenient, it's easy, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? There's no substance there, no value there. It's just low hanging fruit. That's all it is. But if you're looking to sustain yourself, sometimes you got to climb that tree. You know? So again, that's a part of our character. Are we going to do the work? Are we going to be true to what we find out? Like someone said on the panel earlier, if you talk to a person in 5 minutes, you can find out what they're about. Do they want the money? Do they want the drugs? Do they want the relationship? If you listen, they're going to tell you what they want. And a lot of times we're so busy about what we want. You know what I mean? And then we get into the relationship, we find out after a couple of weekends, you know, this ain't the one. And move on to the next one, hoping that we get lucky, you know?
Exactly. Let me go to the 561 area code. We got a call from the 561 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Okay, this is Grace. Thank you for missing me.
Yes, hey, pretty good. How you been? I was just asking about you.
What's your question?
My
brother told me.
Exactly. We are asking a question. Do we as men understand? Do you think men understand the impact, the absolute impact that we have on women?
No. I don't think it's lack of capacity. I don't think that's fair to say that. I think it's lack of willing themselves to understand, because either way you cut it, in all honesty, this is a man's world, okay? And women do most of the work. They do most of the waiting. They wait for him to go to the army and come back. They wait for him to go and play with the band and come back. They are the waiters, but men don't understand what this does to women when they always are strapped with responsibility. And when they are there, usually what they prefer doing after they get used to being home is that they just want to rest, get in the recliner chair, read the newspaper, sports, drink iced tea, whatever. This kind of thing, but they do not understand the responsibility that women have and how it pains them to always wait. I think sometimes they should take the lead in things and say, well, you rest. I'm going to do dinner tonight. I'm going to do breakfast. I'm going to do it for this whole week, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you see a man who appreciates his wife, you see a blessed man, and you also see someone who is really proud because he realizes the value of what he has.
Exactly. Wow. That's good.
Until he does that, he will never understand nor appreciate what he has.
Wow.
Because he's just so used to having her doing all these things. He thinks in his mind, and most of them are raised to believe that this is what a woman is supposed to do. But they were not raised to say, hey, look, you're supposed to sit that lady down, like the Shulamite woman in scripture. Saw Elisha coming by, and she said to her husband, we need to build a little room on the side of this house. And he did. Well, because she was so kind, he says, what can I do for you? She says, I live with my own people. And he says, I see that you have no children. She says, I live with my own people. He says, next year this time you're going to have a child. The rest is history. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
If she hadn't been home, she wouldn't have seen him. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So my point is this: when they realize what they have and come up to the level, I don't care. It doesn't always mean a college degree or a CEO of some company or whatever. But if he willed himself, he could and should make enough money to sit that lady down so that she could do all the things that we have to do in addition to jobs.
Good
you
deal.
Understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So my point is that they do not understand nor appreciate the value that they have in good women.
Good deal. Good deal.
That's my take on it.
And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, man. You put a lot out there. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Now, how you gonna follow that up, Leonard?
I'm just listening because I believe in people's character, and I should believe that people should be looking for people of good character, or like I said before, you deserve what you get. At some point, somebody got to be leading the situation on what you desire. If you want a woman that's natural, then that's what you should go get. Don't go get you somebody else and then try to change that. Because one, you can count on a woman or anybody being themselves.
Yeah.
So you need to find somebody and love them for who they are.
Absolutely.
Period. If you start off that way, it shouldn't be that difficult. Unless somebody got one of them little lies that they ain't told nobody. Or they lying to themselves about something.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for two people who want to be with one another to concentrate on focusing on building their character with one another. It's not, some people get together and then all they do is blame the other person. I guarantee you the problem. I guarantee you are the problem. I can't say I've ever had a bad relationship, and I've been divorced before.
Done been in 5 relationships and can't figure out what the problem is. Everybody else is this, everybody else is that. She did. Hold on, brother. You've been in 5 different relationships with 5 different women, and you can't understand that you might be the problem. You might be the issue, brother.
And when it comes to relationships and things like that, some folk just ain't eligible.
Exactly.
You're just not eligible.
Stay single. Let me go to Rosalind. Rosalind, good evening, young lady. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing wonderful. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing well. We're asking a question. Do we as men, from a woman's standpoint, do you think we as men understand the impact that we have on women?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I like what Miss Grace said. She kind of broke everything down, but I really want to comment because I caught the tail end of the makeup and the weave or whatever because I wear makeup and weave, and I was in the process of putting my wig on and doing my makeup for a presentation. I'm in the master's program, so I am in the master's program, so we get ready to do a presentation.
Come on now.
I like to make sure I'm well put together when I step out. But there's a lot of people don't understand. A lot of women, they don't wear makeup all the time. And a lot of women, they deal with self-esteem issues. I know I did, 10, 15 years ago, I was my self-esteem was very, very low. So I kind of use makeup not for the world, but for myself. Because even without makeup, I look in the mirror and I know who I am. I'm beautiful regardless. But I mean, if I meet a guy and he doesn't have a problem with it, then that's between him and I. Like Wanda was saying, some guys like it, some guys don't. But I don't wear it every day. But when I'm out in public, I'm very well put together. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not for if I'm with a committee, if I'm with my husband or whatever. It's for me and him. It's not for the other men. Like what I said, some like it, some don't. But you have women that deal with self-esteem issues, they deal with mental health issues. And I know a lady, she actually fought depression doing makeup. She fought makeup every day and she fought depression. So there's a lot of reasons why women wear makeup. A lot of people overwear makeup. I get that. And a lot of people don't wear enough makeup. But I mean, I guess it's whoever you're with. But when I step out or Ryan step out, she's very well put together. I don't wear makeup every day. It's just I like to be well put together because I'm very presentable. I want to be presentable when I step out.
Absolutely. Anybody have? We're going to step over to our next topic. There's supposed to be 4 square conversation. We put 2 squares up on this particular topic right here because it was. I think it's a conversation that we had to have, and we may even extend this a little bit tomorrow on the Morning Glow. But anybody have anything else they want to say before we move to our next square?
I wanted to let Rosalind know because she said she missed that, and based on her comment, she missed the context of that makeup and wig or weave conversation. But Rosalind, what happened was there's another woman on Miss Chappelle.
Yes, Chappelle.
She asked, why did we? I won't say. Well, she assumed and asked, why did we require? Or why was it a requirement for women to wear makeup and wigs to catch our attention? And the end that you called, I believe, was the point that we were saying that women don't have to.
Yeah.
But society has made women feel like that is what we demand. When really that is not what we demand. That is what media has made in your mind. The demand is.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand now. Like comparison. Like women are comparing themselves to each other. I got you.
Right.
Okay.
Good deal.
Well, no, they were saying that we were requiring that. She was saying that we actually put that requirement on women to where they have to have makeup and they have to go get BBLs. That if they don't have that, then they're not desirable. And what we were saying was that's not true. You don't have to wear the makeup. You don't have to wear the wig. So if you want to take a break, that's cool because we don't require that.
Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're going to go into our second topic. And where am I going to start with this right here? Rico, I'm going to start with you, brother. I'm gonna put it out there, and I want you to elaborate on what it is that we're saying. You will never understand my pain. Now, if you have to say that to somebody and you say you will never understand my pain, where are you? And what exactly are you encountering at that time to make, because that's a powerful statement. You will never understand my pain. That's powerful, man.
I mean, I was thinking I would have to go into my imagination, but then I don't have to go into my imagination. You probably would never understand my pain if you were a father alienated from his child, trying to be a father and having to fight a judicial system and a parent that's keeping you and that child from having a relationship that y'all want. You know what I'm saying? you know, I was telling you before that it was a woman telling me that she felt like men didn't hurt, that men that we, you know, we just didn't have any emotions or whatever. And so I'm seeing that, you know, I'm meeting so many more men in the same shape that my men, that I am in, trying to be a father and having to spend so much money. You know, some people say, well, hey, if you got to spend it, spend it. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, just think about the fact that I have to go through the judicial system to be a father to a child that I produced. And then having, you know, I mean, an uncooperative mother that won't even comply with court orders. And when you go and put them in contempt, it's just, you just still filing motions, but there's really nothing in place to enforce those things except the fact that you just got to keep spending money to file more motions. If she don't show up to court, oh well, hopefully we pull over. She get pulled over, then we might be able to arrest her then. You know, I'm in the process now of getting custody, and I know when I serve this woman that I got to make sure that I don't spook her, because once I serve her, even if she doesn't show up for court and I get custody, she ain't gonna comply. So it's still a battle for me just to be a father, and that is unheard of, that a man had to fight to be in his child's life with the mother, when most of the time the mothers was complaining about deadbeat fathers. Well, you'll never understand, because I don't. Exactly.
Let me go to we got Don W. Don W, man, what's going on, sir? Okay, we can't hear you. We know we can't hear you now. We can't hear you. Turn your volume on. Hit that volume button on me so I can hear you.
Right. Hey, say something. Him, did you?
No. He don't mute. See, there you go. There you go. See, you might got to go out and come back in. You might have got a phone call or something like that, or somebody text you, and a lot of times that'll knock your volume off. So go out and come back in. I'm gonna come right back to you. Let me go to Brooks. Brooks, if you're in a situation, everybody got their own pain. Everybody got their own pain and their own levels of pain. So if you're in a situation or a conversation with someone and you have to say to them, you will never understand my pain. Where are you?
Well, it depends on what I consider pain. You know, is you coming from as far as just the entirety of a situation or opposition, or are you talking about it in a relationship, marriage, pain?
Well,
are you talking about just in general?
I'm talking in general. I put it out there and I let you take it, you know, where you want to go with it. But if you have to say you will not understand my pain, you're talking to a brother or somebody that's real close to you, and you have to tell them that. Where are you?
Well, if I ever get to that place, and I don't think I have, but if I get to that place, then most likely it'll be something that I would consider like a soul set. I deal with soul sets, you know, because I try to define what is pain. We know what physical pain is, but what is, you know, mental pain or emotional pain? And so I try to always define everything so that, you know, I can be a little bit more articulate in what I say and what I feel about what I am. You see what I mean? Because you know, when it comes to pain, I look at pain as being sense or the dominant influence in your mind. Being a triune being, spirit, soul, and body. You know, oftentimes when we talk about pain, brother, it's dealing with the, you know, it's basically, you know, either within your emotions, within your intellect, you know, it's in that area. And so, and sometimes imagination, you know, a person, but just imagine, fine. But if I'm ever in a place like that, most likely it's something that I grew, that I'm really hurting from, and we probably call it pain, but it's most likely an intense situation, whether it's dealing with something like a level. Like just recently, I lost my grandmother. Then I think 2 weeks later, my nephew got killed. Then a week later, my father died, and so it's just basically like back type of pain. And so pain, I wouldn't look at it as pain. I look at it as hurt because of memories. You know, saying it in my mind. So the other person, they won't understand it. The reality is they can never understand it unless they are able to identify. And even if they identify, they deal with pain and hurt differently as well. You know, and some may not affect them the way it may affect me. Everybody is different, depending on the caliber. And so usually, you know, like I said, for me, if I say you don't understand my pain, that means I'm just not telling you why. Why you don't understand it. And if you know, if they're to pry a little bit more, then I get my idea. So
exactly.
that's how.
That's good. That's good. Don W, talk to me, brother. You will never understand my pain. I can't. No, we can't. Can't. We can't hear you, brother. Tucson.
I'm glad you came to me.
Because
I'm I'm always doing something, but you'll be right where. Now, ask your question again, so I can make sure that I'm clear on what I'm going to answer.
If you're talking to somebody and they're trying to get into your business and they're trying to understand what it is that you're going through or whatever the case, and you look at them and say, "You would never understand my pain. You would never understand my pain."
Well, here's the thing. I'm like that. I have to be honest. You never understand my pain. Probably where I would be, and probably where I am, I can't never pronounce the word, but it's self-preservation. I finally got it. It took me 58 years to pronounce that word.
You graduated tonight. Tonight you graduated, brother. Congratulations.
Yes, I got it right. That's the first time I ever got that right.
Real men being men graduated you.
Yeah, for real. I'm serious about this. I'm trying to make sure that nobody brings me to that point again. So I'm looking out for me. Not being selfish, but you will never understand my pain.
Wow.
Don't even go there with me. Don't even don't back on up. Don't go there with me. I'm just saying.
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
You keep digging, and we're gonna have some problems. Because you will never understand my pain. Now here's the thing, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't want to go there no more. I don't want to repeat it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do none of that. Don't dig into it. You gonna mess our friendship, bro.
Wow.
If you keep on.
That's good.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's we're real men being men.
Yes, sir.
Because there are some people that have repeated the hurt because they decided that they wanted to share. And then there's some people that have a tendency to put salt on wounds. Or pull the scab and cause the healing process to repeat itself.
Wow.
So you will never understand my pain.
Good deal. Let's go to Elder. Elder, what do you say to that? If you got to say that to someone, that you will never understand my pain. Elder, talk to me. What is going on in that conversation? Where are you at that point? And how deep can that pain be?
You are at a point of deepest despair. You're at a point where you may feel forsaken, alone, very guilty, or very hurt because of someone else. And even though you know that people have pains maybe equal to yours or worse than yours, you can't understand your pain because your pain was wrought out of a whole lot of other stuff that they didn't have. You know, a lot of perspectives, history.
Let me ask you this question: Do we at times think that our pain is so much greater than everybody else's pain?
I think we do. I think we really, really do. And in fact, if you really think about it, that's part of what makes us human. Because I'm sure if the truth is told, everybody, all of us around here have felt such deep pain about something. Such pain about something. And at that point, it really doesn't matter what Joe Blow, Susie Q, Mr. Watermelon, Mr. Pickle, what kind of pain they have.
Yeah.
We're kind of focused in on our pain. Now, once everything kind of clears up a little bit, then we understand and we have more history. We know, we meet more people, we talk to more people. We said, man, wow, that person has some real deep pain too. But really, That's what makes us human. Just like people can't feel our greatest joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's inexpressible to someone.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
They have equal to it, but it's not theirs. It's not ours. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
yeah,
good.
but it's a deep place.
Mm-hmm. Let me go to Captain. Captain, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening? Oh, Captain, can't hear you, sir. Can't hear you. Something going on with your line there. Can't hear you. Go out and come back. Go out and come back in. Your volume is not working. While you do that, let me go to Rodney. Rodney, what's on your heart, brother? You will not understand. You cannot understand my pain. You cannot understand my pain.
Well, to me, it brings back certain things. It's like when somebody says, "How are you doing today?" They really don't care how you're doing. Right? It's almost like in life when people, the old story goes, the guy was complaining that his feet hurt until he met somebody who didn't have any feet.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
My analogy is that I really would never say that because I understand that whatever I'm going through is a personal thing, as the brother said, and the people I'm talking to may have gone through greater pain than I've ever gone through. You know, and a lot of times, if I ever get to that point, it's because I'm trying to vent. It's not because I'm looking for any resolution. But for me, for the most part, I'll just suck it up and say it could have been a lot worse. You know, and move on, because in life you're going to have trials and tribulations. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have disappointments. You know, and again, whatever you're going through is not as bad as other people's lives in some cases.
Exactly. Friday, what's on your heart, sis? You will never understand. You will not understand my pain. Friday, what's on your heart?
I would say to that, obviously, as a woman, I can't speak directly in terms of man to man, but from man to woman, and it's funny because my husband and I were just talking about this briefly the other day, and I was sharing with him that from the beginning, there's different things that's tasked to the man to do, and because of that, those responsibilities, although I can fill in the gap, I'll never know what it'll feel like to, as a man, not feel confident that I'm a provider or that I'm not fulfilling certain expectations of roles. Just like as for a woman, he'll never understand what that weight is or what that pain would be for me to feel like I'm not able to fulfill something that I'm called by position to do. Be it if I have a desire to bear children and can't, he can try to have understanding on what that's like, but that pain, he won't really understand what that is for me, because he's never going to bring forth a child. Just like, although I can fill in the gap or stand to provide assistance in providing, as a man, to be a provider, if he feels like at any time he's falling short in that, I'll never know what that pain is for him, based on what that desire of role to be fulfilled. But to man, I would like to think that there could be some type of understanding that could be had in terms of pain, although the exact feeling of it would not be the same, because everybody has a different pain tolerance. But because you share and you're able to open up to other men and preparing them, or even giving them insight, they'll be able to have an understanding to either avoid or to prepare themselves on what that pain may be like.
That's good. That's good. Captain, coming back to you, sir. You will never understand my pain. What do you say to that?
I mean, everyone most certainly, I think, made it very clear. You really can't understand nobody else's pain. I mean, it's just a known fact, and I think there's no explanation of trying to justify that someone can. So I agree. You can never understand no one.
That's good. That's good. Leonard, talk to me. You will never understand my pain. If this is you talking and you telling somebody that, where's that situation, that conversation, or where are you at that point?
Well, first of all, I would never tell a person that. That is one of those phrases that I hate the most. Second to, well, you're not in. What's the one about the shoes? You're not in my shoes.
Yeah, you ain't in my shoe. Yeah.
Why would I want to be? Why would I want to be? Why are we talking? If you feel that way, why are we talking? See, and a lot of times, working with people, and when people get to that point or whatever, you're gonna need to go somewhere else, because what we have already established is that you're not looking for help. And I'm not nobody to dump on. I don't allow people to do that to me. Because one, I try to help people as much as possible. But if you have already made up in your mind that don't nobody know your pain, you ain't walked in my shoe, then go figure it out yourself. Because obviously you're not at the point where you can really talk with somebody rationally about what's going on. You need to go get some professional help. That's a defense mechanism sometimes, I believe. And what is the purpose of that statement? What are you gaining by making that statement? Are you saying you're the only person in the world that has have problems? It wasn't for me at all to be in your shoes or anything of that nature. And so we have to question these relationships, because sometimes this is very toxic in nature. Where everybody think they own an island by themselves.
Wow.
And so what you gonna do? Defend all the negative, or do you want to work through it and get through it? Like you say, if you're going through hell, keep going.
Exactly.
You know, but don't lash out at people. And then it's almost as if you're punishing the other person for sitting there listening to you. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let's go to Miss Grace. Miss Grace, what do you say to that? Someone say you would never or you say to somebody you would never understand my pain. What exactly is that saying? Miss Grace? She may have stepped away.
Yes, I do hear. Okay, I hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to refer to a study that was done. It was published in Ebony magazine somewhere in the mid-40s. I was a small child. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This man was a 18-wheeler. He drove all over the country, and there was a black man driving with him. And he told me, you'd never understood, you're never going to understand what it is to be black and what we go through. So he over a period of time darkened his skin to the point that he would look like a light-skinned black person, and shaved his head. And people thought he was black. He had to go to the back door then. He couldn't go on the other side and eat with the man. He had to go in the bushes to the bathroom. All of the things that black people have gone through, he was going through, because during the 40s we were just coming out of the Depression. See, so he published this article in Ebony. And funny you would talk about that this week, because I'm looking for it now. I'm a student of research. But anyway, my point is, he said he had no idea what we went through. And he says, I will never be able to understand what they have gone through and what they are going through now. You know how long ago that was.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My point is this. It depends on what you are doing and what you're going through. There are some things that you cannot understand. That is very, very true. It depends on the person's situation, but just as the former speaker said, there's an old Indian proverb that says, help me to not criticize my neighbor until I take a walk in his shoes, a walk in his moccasins. You see? That's right, because I don't know what what he's going through. But my point is this: if you enter a situation positively and say, I am going to persevere. I am going to endure this. And you keep a positive mind, you can endure everything. But just as the former speaker said, you're not going to dump on me. That's not going to work. See?
Exactly.
That is not going to work. That's right. I am going through this, but just understand that in due time, it's going to be over one way or the other. But to thoroughly understand what a person is going through is not always the situation. You simply can't. It all depends on what they're going through. Men don't understand what women are going through when they go through childbirth. Women don't understand what men are going through when they're out in the fields in the foxholes and they get hurt, and they are a long way from homes or family, whatever. You know, they don't understand what they're going through.
Absolutely.
You see, so that is the balance. So we're not trying to portray that only women go through things that men don't understand. Through there are some things that men go through that women don't understand either.
Exactly.
But by the same token, to just persevere and say, this too shall pass.
Absolutely.
I will come out of this. It may not be in flying colors, but I will be alive. I will be better. I will be stronger, and something good will come out of this. Not just that I will learn something, but I will help somebody through what they're going through with what I went through.
Good deal. That's good. Let's go to Rosalind. Rosalind, what do you say to that? Rosalind, you will never understand my pain. What do you say to that, Ross?
Miss Grace just bless my soul. Oh Lord. I was listening to Friday. Oh, thank you, Miss Grace. I need that confirmation. I was listening to Friday, and I'm the person, I like to go through things. Bad, I want to go through it, because if I don't know how the end is going to be. So I'm the person, if I'm going through something, I want to go through it, to get through it. And that way I can learn from it, and I won't have to go through it again. And I think that's why I have a lot of people that they back away from me. So I don't let people get close enough to me to hurt me. Right? Because even with Friday was saying like bearing children, like it was a long time, I had to ask, I prayed for my child, that's what I'm sort of. Anyway, I had to ask God for my child. I was the one who asked God every day, please bless me with a child. And nobody, I'm pretty sure no woman would ever, I don't want no woman to ever go through that. Wanting kids and can't have them. That's a painful feeling. But it also taught me to trust God. So I'm glad I went through that, because it taught me something at the end, like Ms. Grace was saying. Something good got to come out of it. So if you go through it, it's always going to be something good at the end.
That's good. Okay, let me go to we're gonna switch topics again. Anybody have anything they want to say on this topic before we move on to the next one? Anybody got anything? Okay, good deal. Toussaint, coming to you, brother. Toussaint, you there?
Yes, sir. Unless you mute me.
There you go. Is flirting an innocent form? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating?
Man, come on.
Because some people take flirting to a whole different level, man. Some people take flirting to a whole different, and sometimes people don't understand. People think that because they're flirting that they really want them, a blase. Nah, Joker, that girl don't want you, man. She like that with everybody.
I think some what's that? Yeah, exactly. See, I like to have fun, and I like to interact with people. Don't get the wrong idea. And I've been falsely accused of flirting when I don't see it as a flirt. I just like to interact with people. caused me some issues.
Yes, sir.
Really. I mean, really. Yeah, because I try not to meet a stranger. And I present myself like I am with anybody. And that don't mean I'm looking to try to do anything or, you know, because sooner or later when you get that impression, I'm going to tell you back on away from me. That's not the conversation I'm trying to have with you. You got the wrong impression.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you see, to some people, I guess, if you flirting for a reason, then I guess it is a form of cheating.
Wow.
Then there are some people that just are people. I'm pretty sure that you went into plenty of situations, Raheem, because you walk up to a complete stranger and act like you've been knowing them all your life.
Don't get Leonard started.
I'm just saying.
That joker talk about me all the time, man. I can't even go to him right here. He's talking to everybody. But you know, I just love people, just like you said. I just love people, man. And that's just who I am. I'm not trying to get anything from you. Don't want nothing. They ain't looking for nothing. I just like talking to people. But let me go to Ms. Rosalind. Rosalind, what do you say to that, man? I want to go from a young lady's point of view. Is flirting an innocent form of cheating?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, I guess it depends on your mate. Because I like to compliment. I compliment women and men. I mean, if you pass by me and you smell good or you handsome, I'm like, hey, handsome king, you know. So I mean, I guess it's who your spouse. I mean, I've never had problems. Even when I was married, I told my ex-husband, you know, I like to compliment. And if it's just a woman that she's nice looking, I'm like, you're very nice looking, you're beautiful. So, but it can go to another level if you allow it. But I'm not gonna allow it. Now, I don't mind you looking at another woman, but you do a 360 while we in the mall, you know, that's disrespectful. We're not doing all that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we can't have that.
Exactly. Brooks, what do you say to that, man? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating?
That's an interesting question. And I do have to do my Bible study after this. So I might have to get off after this comment, you know, my ideology on this. If really flirting is defined, it has to be defined by each individual. It's subjective, really, to each individual of what they're flirting to be. But if I was to undergird with flirting on what it actually really is, it's basically talking perspective without talking. And so some people can always look at it as being cheating, because when you flirt with a woman, if a man flirt with a woman, the flirtatious spirit that comes with it is saying, basically, I'm single and I'm looking for that attention. So there ain't no way around of it. I wouldn't say an innocent way of cheating. It wouldn't be really. It's not cheating, because cheating is when you actually engage in, you know, have sexual encounters. But flirting is basically saying that you're single. Okay, so and then, like I said, the limitation of flirting, depending on the relationship, it's going to be subjective to each individual, what they consider flirting is, or what's too far, so forth on. Because most of the time, they're looking and stuff. That's basically lust. You know what I'm saying? They look at them.
Is there a such thing? Is there a such thing as mental cheating? Because you're always thinking about this person, regardless, you know that you're one person, but you're always thinking about this other person all the time. Is that a form of cheating as well, mentally?
Well, it's not really cheating. I know like it could be that way because you can visualize yourself. In fact, a lot of men do it even when they with their mate. They visualize another girl. Sometimes the girls do it with their man. They visualize, you know, maybe they don't have a pleasure that they want to have. Okay. Because I was gonna say because we look at it from a mental perspective. I like that. Oh,
No, go ahead, brother. You on? Go ahead.
Okay, so because we look at it from a mental perspective, I always use the Bible as a substratum when I explain certain things. Earlier, I was talking about how the spirit, soul, and body. So certain things that happens in the spiritual, that's where you get the transgression, and then when you get to the iniquity, that'll go over the soul, which is the thought process. Okay, and so you can visualize a person cheating. You know, so your soul is the collective of 5 psychological indexes: mind, imagination, emotions, intellect, and will. So you can we can say cheating with the mind, of course, iniquity, when its original Hebrew form is twisted thinking. And then you got sin when you act out in your body. You see what I mean? So transgression, spirit, iniquity, soul, and the sin body. So if I look at a woman and I visualize myself with her, I visualize a sexual encounter, I didn't really mentally cheat because I didn't commit the act. You see what I mean? So it's just based in my mind. But if it's in your mind and it's dominant in your mind, then it's going to move to your left, which is basically the Hebrew word for heart. So once it moves to your heart, then you're going to act it out if you have the opportunity. And this is why we keep the mind renewed. So yes, you can look at it from that perspective of mental cheating to a degree, because if you have the opportunity, if it presents itself, you will act it out, the act in your body, which makes it an actual act of cheating.
Now, Brooks, I know you say you got to go, brother, but I'm going to throw this at you real quickly, and I'm going to move on to somebody else. You stay with us as long as you can. But a lot of times people say, somewhere I read, so a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinking, so if he, so if you're thinking it within your mind, if you created this situation or you actually lay with this person, perform that act in your mind, is that so a man thinking, so is he. So how do we line that up, or how do we
Okay, so basically the scripture says, so what a man think in his heart. Okay, that's the Hebrew word leb. That's the most innermost part of who you are. So it says, so what a man think in his heart, so is he. Because if it goes into your leb, you're going to act it out. If it's in your mind, then you can eradicate it before it turns into an action. Okay, just to give you a quick example. Okay, David, he saw Bathsheba naked, so he literally stepped out of his spiritual position of order. Okay, he thought about it because he visualized it in his mind. So since he visualized it in his mind, he became a dominant influence, able to see it with his. I don't want to go into deep, theology, but he was able to visualize it, and because he visualized it and it moved to his left, because he didn't eradicate it, then he called Bathsheba to come to him, and then he actually act out in his flesh. So literally he transgressed, iniquity set in, then he committed act, which is sin. So you're right. It's so what I think of in his heart, so it's see, because anything that we think, it could be a thought in our mind, but it redundantly think on these things, then it moves from the mind to the heart. And once it moves to the heart, it moves to an action. Exactly. And this is the whole reason why, not to get biblical on it, but this is the reason why Paul said, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, thou will be saved. He moves from the mind to the left. Jesus said it clearly. He said, if you look at a woman to lust after her, you commit adultery within your heart, your left. So it's not really a mind thing. And that's why I like doing the separation of the mind from the left, because your heart will always outdo what's in your mind. That's why women can be in an abusive relationship, know they need to leave, really want to get out of it, but because of the left connection, they will suffer because of that connection from the left. Because so what you think in your heart, so as you become.
Good deal. Man, say it again. Somebody say something.
Bible study.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he done took us there. He done definitely took us there. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I think, first of all, when you had said, I was like, first of all, ain't no such thing as honest cheating, is it?
No, I said innocent cheating.
Innocent cheating.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a such thing as innocent cheating.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
When you said it was too crazy. But you know what I always tell people, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't put when you're doing things intentionally or not. You know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So this notion that looking at a woman and all this, what you looked at her and then what? What you gonna do? Gouge your eyes out so you don't see nobody no more? There has to be some intent on doing something. What you gonna do? What are you going to do? Guess what? I don't have to know what you're doing in your head. Ever. No one ever has to know what you're thinking about. That's why it's none of their business. Now, when you let it out, is when it becomes someone else's business. You're the one that put it out there in the public for everyone else. So one, think about it. We read it and we talk about it as if someone can see the thoughts in your mind. That's your mind. You can keep that to yourself. You ain't got to share that with nobody if you don't want to. So this notion to get you hung up on whether or not you cheating in your head or not, to me, is a little off-putting.
Off-putting.
Yeah, it's very strange to me, because sometimes Christians embrace certain things that they really don't need. You know, what else are you thinking about? What else is going on? Is the last did you go over there and sleep with the last girl you was flirting with? Is that what you did? Because you obviously done something. If you think you worried about something and it's such a big deal, what are you going to do about it? That's the big deal. What do you plan on doing about it?
So is flirting innocent?
Flirting can be very innocent.
Could be.
Yeah,
but
it's what would be the guilt? What would be the what would be that which would bother you so much about it? What is it? What
like
is
it? like Rosalind said, it really depends on the on your significant other and
exactly
how they take it.
How foolish a man would be to always be getting caught up in a situation like that with his significant other. You just a fool.
Need to be by
and
yourself.
You need to get some discipline.
Let me go to Elder. Elder, what do you say to that? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating? Elder, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it wasn't me that time, brother. It was you. It was all you that time.
Well, you know, I'm thinking about the word flirting. I think we get flirting and kindness and, you know, compliments and all that kind of stuff confused. I think the intention of flirting is to captivate. I think that's the intention of flirting. Or it could be for some like older guys, like, do I still have it? Or to the woman, do I still have it? And I'm trying to communicate something, you know, to that person, you know, whatever, whatever. So
yes, sir.
So
how'd you do that thing? How'd you do it again? How'd you look at her? How'd you look at her? You gave me that look just then, brother.
Take a snapshot. But I think flirting, I think it's an intentional thing. I mean, you know, now I want to kind of, but see there, as everybody's saying, it's somewhere, you know, in that friendship, kindness, extend yourself to people. Some people perceive it as flirting. Sometimes women think their husbands are flirting when they're really not, or men think their wives are flirting when they're really not. They're just being friendly. You know, God has given us, each of us, I got my face and my body, and you got your face and your body for a reason, because there are certain people that will be attracted to me or to you just based on how I look. You know, and it ain't got to be handsome, ain't got to be none of that, or beautiful, or whatever. And that, you know, you may be able to have something to say good or kind to that person, or say something significant to that person. But just because you're saying something to that person, being kind to that person, does not mean that you're flirting. So that's why I think we were saying, it depends on how the husband or wife.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, because that if it's flirting, it's flirting. They can perceive that you're flirting and you're not, but you see what I'm saying? It's different. But I think flirting is intentional.
Wow.
And and the goal is to, to see if I still got it. You know, make me feel good. Make them feel good, whatever the case may be. You know.
Elder, give her that look, Elder. Elder, give her that look. Give her that look, Elder. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, great.
Man, it's levels and degrees of everything, man. You know, I think it depends on to what level or to what extent the flirting goes. You know, like say for instance, you may work in a nursing home or something like that, or a retired living facility, or maybe a home with disabled people. You might just want to flirt with them just to
Look at Leonard looking at you, man. He said, "You gonna flip with them old people?" I know what he's thinking, man. I know what he's thinking.
I mean,
well, I know what he's thinking, man.
You might see an old woman. You might see an old woman and say, hey, Miss Such and Such, you looking like a snack today.
Yeah.
That might make her feel good because she wanted to look like an old snack.
Yeah,
I mean, we just being serious about it. I mean, if y'all can find something funny about that, I mean, well, if you can find something funny about that, then find it. But in those situations, I have seen where people will make an older person that has low self-esteem.
Exactly. You're lifting up their self-esteem. I know what you're saying.
Easily.
I know exactly what you're saying. But I gotta be funny though, Rico. I gotta be funny.
But I was thinking about how sometimes we could complicate things. You get what I'm saying? Like when you were talking about cheating in your mind. Man, what do I look like going to my significant other and saying, baby, I got a confession. I thought about cheating. I'm so sorry. Come on, man.
You better not.
I mean, you can flirt. Like I said, it depends on what level and what intention you have with the flirt. Now, if you flirting with this woman because you know she get a check, and you one of them type people that don't mind being a gigolo, and you'll go there, then you wrong for the flirting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You wrong if you got a significant other and you still trying to get some money out this person, or maybe you trying to ease your way into their wheel, their Social Security. Maybe you want to be over their check. So you flirt with them a little bit and make them feel like, you know what I'm saying, they handsome and you might give them some. You sure been thinking about it. I mean, I've seen women manipulate a lot of handicapped men and disabled men, older men flirting with them.
Good Lord.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen men do the same thing with older women or disabled women, you know. But then you have those that actually have to work in that area, that environment with those people where they know, hey, man, such and such went and got a haircut today and he dyed his beard. He look a little young today. Let me go say something to him. Hey, Mr. Such and Such, you looking young today. You gonna make me put my man to the side. You flirt.
Yeah. That is.
But you ain't going overboard with it.
Yeah.
You're not being
careless. You're not being careless with it.
Yeah. So it's simple. It ain't that complicated. I mean, we could, find whatever you can out of that. I mean, but that's how it happens. It's just a matter of, like I said, there's levels and degrees to everything. Under the sun, there's a level and degree to every experience and every situation. It ain't never going to be the exact same way for each individual. Absolutely. But at the same time, it depends on how far you take it and what your intention is. If you flirting with somebody just to lift their self-esteem, to lift their spirit, because you know they was trying to look cute. Ooh, you looking cute today. You looking handsome today.
Exactly.
That ain't overboard. And I'm pretty sure if you got a significant other, they might not mind that. But now if you can overdo it, and that significant other be like, now, hey, wait a minute now.
You don't cross the line,
you're doing a little bit too much. Now, they ain't that amazing. They don't look that good.
No, now that person that came in there and crushed the whole self-esteem you're trying to build when they do something like that, and crush the whole situation.
Hopefully they pull them to the side and tell them that they check them and be like, well, you're going a little bit too far. Now, I get the fact that you're trying to lift their self-esteem and you're giving them a little compliment or whatever. You're trying to flatter them. But now, you know what I'm saying, you don't went a little bit too far. I think you might go ahead and try something.
Let's go to Rodney. Rodney, what's on your heart, brother? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating?
No, it's not a form of cheating. However, flirting, in my opinion, a lot of times is deliberate. There's a reason behind it. The deliberate one could be for your own ego, like the brother said, to see if you still got the skills. The other one is a form of manipulation to find out if I compliment her, is she going to bite? All right. And if she's going to bite, then I'm going to take it to the conversation to a further level. And then you run into problems when you write a check, you got to cash.
Yeah.
Then you move into the realm of adultery or whatever, because of the fact that you started flirting enough, and a woman get to a point and say, "Okay, now put up." You don't flirt yourself into a situation you can't get out of. But many people do not flirt for no reason at all. There's a motive behind it.
Wow.
Now, whether it's to build self-esteem, whether it's to manipulate them in the future, or is it for my own personal ego, thinking that I can get this woman anytime I want to.
Wow. Let me go to Miss Grace. Miss Grace, what do you say to that? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating?
it depends on the situation. In most cases, it is. Not always, but in most cases. And there is a reason for it, a motive, not just because it's a possibility, it's an opportunity, but there's something about human nature that often causes people to act a certain way. They might be attracted to someone, or they may have an angle that they get something for later on, but they're not really interested in the person as such. They recognize vulnerability and they act on it, and they say, well, maybe if I flirt with this one, things will happen the way I want them to, but I'm not really interested in this person. But by the same token, the question was flirting
innocent form?
You could say, yeah. I think it is. But basically, it really is. Not in all cases, but in most cases. You see, both man and animals do that. The peacock dances in front of the female, and they stand over and they look, and each one tries to outdo the other one, and she decides which one she wants depending on the way he was flirting in his dance with her. You see what I'm saying? He wanted to win her over. That's what happened. But basically, there is a motive when there is flirting, whether there is a need or a desire, or there's always usually some motive.
Exactly.
That's my take.
Good deal. Good deal. Now I saved this gentleman here last because I want to see what he was going to say about this whole situation. Captain, is flirting an innocent form of cheating? What do you say to that?
Man, I just was enjoying everybody. Man, they did so much of this. The brother that had to get to Bible study, he just nailed it. I love that. I love what Brother Rico always find a scientific analysis of a thing, and I like what he said. There's no question that it cannot. Let me say this. I believe that flirting is covert and overt. I think, as the sister said, the intent. I've never seen a man at let me say, the Red Lobster. I'm sitting in the booth with my wife. There's a brother with a beautiful wife sitting in the booth with his wife. He looked like a weightlifter. I'd be a damn foolskin. I'd be a darn fool if I'm flirting with his wife while he's sitting there. She may be all that in the back of the chick, but because he's sitting there, I ain't trying to get myself in that situation. Now, there is a difference between flattery, and Rico, he touched on it. Flatter, he used the word flatter. But there's a difference between flattery and flirting. You know, you're not flirting if you're talking to elderly about how you doing, Miss So-and-so. You know, you killing the day, you killing the game, Miss So-and-so. But I mean, he know Mr. Willie, because flattery is an excessive, insincere praise. That's all it is a compliment, excessive, insincere praise. So you ain't trying to flirt. You're trying to flatter. Yeah. And sometimes flattery would get you everything in life. You know, you flatter somebody, you know, oh, look at yo, my man, you looking good. Listen, dude, I was trying to go, I went on the daggone stock market. I tried to get handsome and try to get some shares in handsome. And brother, you going in the market. I'm not flirting with the brother.
Yeah.
I'm saying, brother, let some of them share. I'm flattering him. Because it also makes every one of us, we don't turn down flattery. We don't turn down praise. Find me somebody on this line that turn down praise. We all love it.
Yeah.
But we have to know there's a thin line between flirting and flattery. So you said, is there anything insincere flirting? Listen, now there's no question that most people that flirt, for example, when I say this covert and overt, you know, some people would be flirting with you in a way you don't even know they're flirting.
Mm-hmm.
And they coming in a whole different manner. But as my brother said, Rayco said, are you going to bite? That's the purpose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you going to bite? And ain't nothing wrong. And there's some men who are very flirtatious. There's women know they're flirtatious.
Mm-hmm.
It's healthy for their ego. And they love to see women, give that look. Oh, you so silly. The men just love to hear that part. You so silly. So it's about the ego. It's about self-esteem. As I heard, brother, you want to know you still got it. You want to know, can I turn that head?
Mm-hmm.
Well, watch this, brother. Watch. All right, girl, I see you over there. And then he dropped his glasses down and look. You see? Certain.
Yeah.
Certain, So I think, now when I heard my brother talk about, within the mind, we have a lesson that says it is desire that feeds the will. He brought a very beautiful analysis dealing with David.
Mm-hmm.
If you dwell on something long enough, then your flirting becomes lust.
Mm-hmm.
Then your lust leads to desire.
Yeah.
And desire feeds the will.
Mm-hmm.
So lust leads to flirting leads to lust leads to desire, and then that desire feeds the will, and that will leads into an act.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very careful because it can lead flattery. Flirting can lead to that. In most cases, that's the intent. But
exactly.
That's my spiel on it, dear brother.
Good deal. We got 4 minutes. Anybody have anything they want to say on this thing about flirting, man? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating? Is flirting an innocent form of cheating? Anybody have anything they want to say before we get out of here? Good deal. All right. Well, what I'm about to do right now, I'm about to go around and everybody give everybody an opportunity to say what they like to say in their closing. It's been a great broadcast. We covered a lot today. We got to 3 squares. We didn't get to all 4 of them, but we did cover 3. So that was real good. Let me go to we're gonna start off with ladies are first. Ladies are definitely first. So Miss Grace, what would you like to say in your closing, ma'am?
That I really do appreciate this program. You have some very interesting topics, and it really causes one to think and later act, and how you communicate with people, how you treat them, how you make them feel about what they might be going through, how you might encourage them, and how you might pass some of the things that you have learned in life down to a generation below you. I think that's very, very important and much needed today in our world.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. To God be the glory. Captain, in your closing, sir.
Well, let me say this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this conversation. I have to be honest. I can't tell no tales to y'all. I'll be stealing all y'all stuff. I just want y'all to know that. So if you ain't got no doggone copyright, so don't come to me. Now, when you hear it in the public, man, I said that. I was on Raheem's show.
Yeah, exactly.
And just one thing, Raheem, I had to say on the last show this morning, you said you got a spanking and you are right. Well, many of us may say, we don't know about that, Raheem. we don't know about that, right? So that was not a good analysis. I got spanking and I'm all right. So I just thought I would say that. Family, I enjoy y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing your Morning Glow in the morning.
Yes, sir. So you're saying I might be a little touched. Oh yeah,
you look touched. You look touched.
There you go. Elder, in your closing, sir. Oh, hold on. I got you muted. Hold on. There you go. Sorry about that.
No problem. So glad to return tonight and see everybody. Just always stimulated by the conversation, and just always hopeful and praying that someone is listening out there to something that we might say that will bless them in a special way. So I'm blessed by listening to you guys and hearing your perspective. So God bless.
Bless you as well. Rodney, in your closing, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for all the brothers and spending the time on the line. It's always a pleasure, and we look forward to gathering again next week.
Absolutely. Rico.
Man, thank you for having me on, man. It was another awesome night, man. And when the women came on and they was talking about the pain and they went through and how we could never understand it, man, I was like, man, we can't even come back with nothing. You know what I mean? You know, we had something we could have came back with, but I didn't come back with it. But I think I'm going to drop it real fast before we leave. Ever been kicked in the balls? Ooh, boy, they'll never be able to understand that pain right now, man. You can see it happen to somebody. You just automatically be like, ooh. Man. So that's one right there that we can't understand how I feel to give birth, but man, they'll never understand how sensitive them kahunas are. What they call them?
Yeah,
they'll never understand.
Yeah. Exactly.
They'll never understand that pain.
Never.
Man, it was a good show. I like to leave folks when it comes to this relationship thing. Something that I tell my boys all the time: always do your best. No one should expect more, nor should they accept any less than the very best that you can do.
That's good. Let me go to Elder. Let me go back to Elder. Elder, if you don't mind, sir, will you pray us out before we do our ending?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, that you have brought all of us to this point in our lives through our history, through our experiences, through our knowledge. And we thank you for the opportunity to share as we would from our own background and from our own experiences with those who have heard tonight. And we pray that our audience will increase, that something that we say will just bless somebody, call somebody to make a right turn instead of a wrong turn. And we just thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for Raheem, and thank you for the show, Real Men Being Men. So we just bless you and give you praise and glory for all the wisdom that you have to give out through us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Now, I want to invite you all, if you don't mind, I want to invite you to something we do every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a show called The Morning Glow. We do it every day. Now, Wednesday is a very special day. We all let our hair down. We let our hair down on Wednesday. Rico, what's it called, Rico?
It's on way out. Yeah, way out Wednesday. I wanted to say wow, man. I saw you. Good deal. It's way out Wednesday. We open up the phone lines, whatever you want to talk about. We talk about it, and we'll allow you to call in and talk about it in its entirety. We look into and as a matter of fact, the beginning of August, on the first Wednesday in August, I'm gonna start pushing out there. I want you all to talk about it as well. I want people to call in with their confessionals. If they have any kind of confessions or something like that, or they want to apologize to somebody, we're gonna open up the Morning Glow for them to call in and apologize to that particular person. Hopefully we'll be able to get the other person on air and let them apologize. And we don't know how it's gonna go. It could be pretty, might not. But we're gonna give everybody an opportunity to either confess or apologize on every Wednesday. It's gonna be our apology day. So you can actually call in and apologize to that person. Hopefully we'll be able to get the other person on the line and they keep it clean. Rico, interesting. You broke up at the end. What'd you say?
I said that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it could be. You know, you probably have to get some people to get comfortable with actually opening up and putting their business out there. You know, some people ain't gonna want to talk about things that they need to apologize for. Some will, some won't.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that's even getting the other person on the line to receive the apology.
That's gonna be the challenging part right there. That's gonna be the challenging part.
They might be too mad to even get on the phone, even talk to anybody once they hear that name, man.
And
so,
then
we got to see. We'll see.
And then some foreign words might come out, huh?
hit your pause button.
Exactly. Beep. I want to beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
But anyway, man,
pre-record the show.
Exactly, or something, man, or something, because Leonard, it could be very testy. It could be testy. That joke ain't gonna say nothing. That joke ain't gonna say nothing. But yeah, that's what we're looking to do on starting in August. The first Wednesday in August, I'm gonna start pushing out there and let people know that if they want to do it. In the first couple of weeks, we may not have anybody to do anything. You know, they may just be listening for the first person to do their confessional. And so we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK and Media Group and Associates and Real Men Being Men for being a part of your evening. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light on you for the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? To have a great day and take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Talk to your mom if God say the same.